The Philadelphia Eagles pulled off their biggest win of the season, and it was actually their defense coming through in a massive way. They were able to defeat the Dallas Cowboys at a final score of 17-9. Very fun game, and I thought that the last drive when Dallas was driving, there was actually a lot of interesting stuff that was going on. And so let's just jump into it. The first play, and basically all the plays you're going to see are going to be one of two things. The first play is going to be a cover one hole, and in fact, really, Philadelphia had ran one play all drive up until this point. They were playing cover 3 zone. And cover 3 zone or cover 1 hole, those are two very similar types of coverage that you line up as, because there's a single safety deep in either one of those situations. It's man instead of zone on this one. And they were trying to do cover 3 zone a lot, trying to just let the players be the ones who made the plays, but it wasn't really working out, and I'll show you why in the next play. But they decided to switch things up and go with man coverage, and Dallas was able to pretty much just pick it apart right away. Amari Cooper was running that route right there, just a quick curl route right past the first down marker. And if you notice, his assigned man is playing very far off because he is a little bit worried about Cooper potentially getting past him, which obviously would be very bad in this situation. So Prescott very calmly just takes a step back, fires in that direction, and it's just too easy right there. It's a first down. So that was the first time they ran that play, and they said, okay, enough of that. Let's just get back to cover 3 zone. It's going to be very tough for them to get a lot of yards on one play. And so if we can just keep doing this, hopefully we get one play, or we're able to stop them, 4 times in a row at least, and are able to then find a way to get the stop and get the ball back. However, there was a real problem with Philadelphia continuing to play cover 3 zone, and it was because Dallas could just keep running plays like this, where what they're going to do is, this is the cover 3 zone, and they're going to send 2 receivers just like that, and it'll have a third receiver run underneath them. This way they can almost guaranteed pick up 5 yards or so. Won't be a touchdown. You don't need a touchdown. Get the ball closer. And that's what they've been doing all drive, really, and watch how well it works out. I mean, again, it's just too easy, and you're able to gain 6 yards just like that. It's a free 6 yards almost. So, well, in theory, I do understand the logic behind, let's try to keep everything in front of us. Let's not allow anything big happening. And then all we need is to make 1 or 2 stops, or just make one big play, and we're good. But the problem is, they're just really struggling to make that big play or make that stop. At least they were up until the following play. Once again, it's a cover 3 zone that Philadelphia is going to be running, because, again, literally every play now except for one of these plays in this drive has been a cover 3 zone. It's what Philadelphia likes to run, and it's what they're doing here once again. And for Dallas, they have a very similar idea. It's going to be just send 3 receivers deep. We're going to send Ezekiel Elliott now, will be the guy who's going to run right over there. He'll get past the first down marker, or at least close to the first down marker. He might cut a little bit shorter, but at least it'll be a 3rd down and 1 situation, or he'll be able to move, which is most likely he'll be able to catch the ball and run and pick up some yards that way, because Ezekiel Elliott is known for being able to run with the football. I mean, he's one of the best running backs in the game, so you get him the ball, he'll be able to run with the football, pick up some yards that way, or at the very least gain 3 yards, set up a 3rd down and 1, but most likely he'll at least be able to get past the first down marker. That's the way this play is going to work out. It makes a ton of sense to keep doing things like this in this situation, so that is why Dallas is going to do it. And after the ball is snapped, it is working out. I mean, you see Zeke, he moves just a couple yards past the line of scrimmage, but by the time Dak does hit him, he can turn his shoulder and try to gain some yards. Who knows if he'll get the first down? I would assume he would in this situation. I think he has enough separation to at least fall forward and get the first down. Probably wouldn't get much more than that, but hey, a first down is a first down, and especially with a minute and 50 left, and you have all 3 of your timeouts inside the 20 now, you have plenty of time to try to make this play. In my opinion, this is the correct decision. This is what I would do if I was Dak Prescott. And in fairness to him, if you look at him, he is getting ready to make that throw, and there is pressure coming, so he kind of has to make this throw right now if he's going to make it. But he pulls back and tries to run, see if he can gain some yards that way, and it's just a mess. He gets sacked. And that's a huge play, because they had the first down, and Prescott just, in my opinion, made a mistake there. And partially, that's kind of why you keep running a coverage like that over and over again, is to say, hey, you want to keep taking 5 yards, go ahead, but eventually something is going to go wrong. Either you're going to make a mistake, or we're going to make a great play, and once you do that, we can capitalize. And also, in fairness to Prescott, there was pressure up the middle, so it's not quite exactly an easy throw, but I still think you got to try to fire it over them. The chances of it getting tipped are, I think, not that high, and even if it does, you just got to take a chance in this situation. You got to get the first down. Prescott overthought it, ends up getting sacked, and it's a bad sack to take there. Not really because of the time too much, that's not a big deal, but you're now losing yards, and now it's a 3rd down and medium when you could have had a 1st down. It wasn't the worst sack in the world, you lost 4 yards, so definitely not the end of the world by any means. It's now going to be a 3rd down and 8, but it's still something you would have liked to avoid because now you're in a little bit of a pickle. However, again, it's totally okay. Just make one play, you'll make it back. 8 yards is not that much, and this time it is going to be a cover 1 hole. So Philadelphia going back to what didn't work earlier, because they're saying, okay, now we don't want to give up 5 or 6 yards here, because if we give up 5 or 6 yards, well, now it's going to be a 4th down and 2, so, and then obviously you can a lot easier gain 2 yards than 8 yards. So we're going to not exactly come after you, but we're going to trust our defensive backs in this situation, see if they can come through, and they would deliver. But they wouldn't just deliver on their own. They really wouldn't. There would be some help from the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys did not execute this final drive the way that you would have liked to see them if you are a Cowboys fan. Like, on this play, so it's a cover 1 hole, and Cooper is going to be running a route like that. So this is key right here. This is definitely a route that can get open against this type of coverage, and that's where Dak is going to look. It's his number 1 receiver. He's going to lean on his number 1 receiver. He trusts his guy, so that is where he's going to look once this ball is snapped. However, it's not going to work out too well. It looks like they're just not on the same page or something, because Cooper runs a lot further than Dak throws this football. I don't think Prescott just missed it. Maybe he was throwing it away, but I don't know why you would throw it away in that situation. I think it was just a miscommunication of some sorts. Also worth mentioning, he had plenty of room to run. He could have totally ran for a 1st down, maybe even a touchdown if that's what he chose to do. Admittedly, if he thought Cooper was going to cut and was going to get open, it's hard to blame him too much, but at the same time, due to that just error, now it's 4th down and 8, which again, this is kind of why those drives are so difficult to pull off, because all it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes, and now you're in a 4th down situation where now you have to make a great play if you're Dallas. And Philadelphia, they're ready to come through. One of the things that they tend to do pretty well, even though they maybe don't always live up to their potential, part of it this season has been with injuries, but they always seem to make the big play when they have to, and that's exactly what they're going to do on this play. It's once again going to be a cover 1 hole. At this point, you only have to stop them once. You want to make sure that they don't just run a simple zone buster and beat you that way. So you got to do man coverage. It makes a ton of sense. And also I like the cover 1 hole idea, because now you have a player in the area who could potentially take away something in the middle of the field. So if Prescott does try to run, then in theory he could potentially try to take this away. And for Prescott, he feels pretty confident he knows what coverage is happening. I mean, it seems pretty obvious it's going to be man coverage just given the situation, and also with a single safety deep, seems pretty obvious that the sidelines are going to be open, so he has Michael Gallup running a go route right over there, and he's just going to say, you know what, this is the route that I'm going to have to go with. I'm going to have to trust my guy and see if I can make this throw work. And so that is what he's going to do. He doesn't even think about it, just throws one up in that direction, and at this point, it's actually not a terrible situation, but one thing you do notice with Gallup is that he has his hands kind of low, as if he's going to try to catch it with his chest, when, in theory, it would really be nice in this situation to try to get your hands higher up. I mean, it's going to be really hard to make this catch just simply with how Sidney Jones, the corner who's against him, is lined up right now, where he's right in front of him. But also, the flip side of that coin is just Jones is playing this one absolutely perfectly. I mean, no separation, he gets his head turned around. He probably had an idea that this was going to be a go route, just given the situation as well. You're going to have somebody on the edge run a go route, so he probably just figured that was going to happen, so he was able to play that one very well, and he's able to finish as well. Gets his hand in, knocks it away while looking, so that way it's not a penalty of any kind, knocks the ball down, and that's it, ball game over. Probably season over for the Cowboys, barring a miracle in Week 17, and that's really just what the Eagles were able to do. I mean, it actually wasn't the end of the game, they had to get a 1st down, but they did get the 1st down, so this was really the last chance the Cowboys had, and they were not able to beat the Eagles. Listen, I know Philadelphia hasn't exactly been a dominant team this season. They're probably going to go 9-7 and make the playoffs, but you know what? That's what they did last season, and they were able to make some noise once they got there. They beat a 12-4 team in the 1st round in the Bears, and then they nearly beat the Saints, who obviously were a top-tier team that year. And who knows what happens then if they go to LA. So definitely, this is a team that I am not counting out by any means. They're probably going to end up having to play it's either going to be Seattle or San Francisco. So That'll be interesting. And of course, they still do have to get there. I mean, they can still, if they lose Week 17 and the Cowboys win, then they're out. Although I think they'll probably win. But you never know. Weirder things have happened. However, anyways, I do think that despite this maybe not being the season that you were hoping for going into it, if you're Philadelphia, there is some hope come playoff time. How often have we seen a team that we think shouldn't be in the playoffs go on to beat a great team in the playoffs? I mean, I think about the 7-9 Seahawks, who then went on to beat the reigning champion New Orleans Saints. So, absolutely weird things happen in the postseason. And, I mean, the Eagles are not a bad team by any means. Maybe they're not a top-tier team, but they have a great coach. They're playing with a lot of heart. They're playing as a great unit right now. And they are the team that has been known to get hot at the right time. So, hopefully for Philadelphia fans, this is now them getting hot at the right time. But I definitely think it's interesting. It's going to be cool to see yet another game, a playoff game in Philadelphia. It's always fun to see those. Even though they may be, I'm sure Seattle or San Francisco fans will be a little salty that they win multiple more games than the Eagles and won't be able to see a playoff game in their own home stadium. But hey, that's football. That's the way the NFL works it out. And so it'll be fun to see. I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching.